Hello and welcome to another IC3D tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at scanning with the Sol Pro and then importing that scan inside of IC3D. Once you have the scanner set up and ready to go, you're going to want to hit Start. You'll see a small startup and then the chime will let you know that it's ready to scan. Place your object in the center of the scanning platform and hit Scan. The scanning process will now take over and you should see your object rotate and a small laser go across the surface of the object. This means it's scanning and you don't want to touch the object or the scanner during this whole process. Once the scan is done with its initial scans, you'll see this logo appear, and this means it's processing that scanned file into a visible 3D model. Once you hear the chime again, your scan is ready to be previewed and exported. Now you can add another scanning pass for higher detail. But if not, just go ahead and hit Start Meshing, and as you can see, we should get a preview momentarily. Now this process may take a little bit, so you can walk away and wait for the chime. Once you hear the chime once again, you will be given a preview. You can take a look and decide if you want another scanning pass, or you can save this out and this will send it over to the viewer. Now, the viewer once our model opens up in the viewer, we are able to see the wireframe. This can tell us how busy our polygonal mesh is, and if we do want to remesh it so we can basically drop the amount of polygons that the model has, so any 3D program, or IC3D specifically, will be able to use that model without kind of wasting any resources with a very high meshed model. And as you can see, once it's ready and in a much better format, we can go ahead and be another preview. That's looking really good, and we can go ahead and save this out. Now, the export options for the Sol Pro can include OBJ, PLY, XYZ, STL, and DAE. Now, if you're exporting specifically for IC3D, which we will be, we're looking for OBJ, STL, or DAE. Either of those formats will work. However, please note that if you are using STL, you will not be able to import the texture. Once exported, head over to IC3D and go up to File, Import to import any scanned object. Now, I exported my object as an OBJ, so I'm going to import that in. Now, with the OBJ, of course, you want to punch in the correct measurements, and you can double check this by looking at the width, height, and depth measurements. By default, it looks like mine's in millimeters, so that's looking perfectly fine, but we can change this to a couple of different units. So just make sure that it is to size. And from there, as you can see, we actually imported in with the OBJ. It comes with the texture map. Now, of course, I don't need that, so I'm going to head over to my material library, and I'm going to replace the entire material with my own custom paper material. So I'm heading over to the printed card category, and I'm just going to drag on a matte paper. That matte paper is making it look much nicer, and from there, we can tweak however much we'd like, or we can swap this over to the Raz Ray Tracer and continue on with our rendering. As you can see, it's quite simple to import any kind of object, especially scanned from the Sol Pro. IC3D is able to take that, and within minutes, we have a fully functioning model that's ready to go for any type of render. Thank you so much for joining me, Adam Chop, as we took a look at the Sol Pro and IC3D together.